Good morning everyone. Myself Indranil Mondal, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department. Today I am going to present an important topic, non-destructive testing related to materials engineering. Let's start the discussion. These are the main contents: introduction, advantages, applications and types of non-destructive testing. Uh, These are the main contents: introduction, advantages, applications and types of non-destructive testing. Let's discuss one by one. Non-destructive testing involves techniques based on application of physical principles employed for purpose of determining characteristics of material or components and for detecting and assessing inhomogeneity and harmful defects without changing the usefulness of materials or components. The method used may be simple or intricate. It plays a vast role in quality control of finished product. Skilled judgments and experience is required while performing non-destructive testing. When engineering components are designed, it is assumed that the material possesses a certain set of mechanical properties. But in actual practice, when the component is used in structure or service, there is no assurance that it is equal to those previously tested as far as mechanical properties and freedom from defects are concerned. The mechanical properties of the product may be degraded by the presence of some defects which are inherent in metallic products. Some of these common defects are seams, surface flaws, that is porosity, inclusions, etc., and cracks. Therefore, it is desirable to confirm the required properties of a product without damaging or breaking it. In practice, it is achieved by using non-destructive inspection methods, that is known as non-destructive testing. Non-destructive inspection usually implies a process for finding defective parts while avoiding damage to good parts. The word defective means absence of one or more of the specified quality characteristics. In other words, non-conformance to specifications. What are the main advantages of non-destructive testing? Flaw detection and evaluation, leak detection in components, location determination and orientation of defects, dimensional measurements, structure and microstructure characterization, estimation of mechanical properties, material sorting and chemical composition, assistance in product development, and improve and control manufacturing process. Industrial use. NDT is used to inspect of raw products during forgings, castings, and extrusions operations, to inspect various secondary processing methods, machining, welding, grinding, heat treatment, and plating. Inspection for in-service damage in case of cracking, corrosion, erosion or wear, and heat damage. What are the basic types of non-destructive testing? There are 6 types of non-destructive testing procedures. First, visual examination, liquid penetrant testing, magnetic particle testing, eddy current testing, radiography, and ultrasonic testing. Let's discuss one by one. Visual examination. Primary method of non-destructive testing. A simple visual test reveals gross surface defects. Physical principle is illumination of the test specimen with light. Equipments used are very simple and portable. Most valuable non-destructive testing tool, that is a human eye, mainly performed to obtain the general condition of components. Methodology of visual examination. Use of optical instruments magnify defects, permit visual cracks of inaccessible areas, presence of foreign objects, formation of corrosive layer or even damage. This is videoscope. This one is advanced videoscope. there is borescopes, microscope and magnifying glass. These are all instruments for visual examination. Applications of visual examination. Inspection of plant components for leakage, misalignment in equipment parts, corrosion, erosion, cracks and fracture, minute discontinuities on parts like pumps, compressors. Limitations of visual examination. Defects only surface defects are examined, cannot be used at places with bright exposure or no light. Equipments cannot be exposed to hazardous places. Liquid penetrant testing. Any material with relatively smooth, non-porous surface on which discontinuities or defects are present. What is the physical principle? Capillary action of liquid. Use of penetrant, developer and cleaner on test specimen. Defects open to surface like cracks after rolling, casting, weld cracks, hot tears, cold shards, shrinkage can be detected. This is the penetrant testing schematic diagram. This is testing object after applying penetrant, then emulsifier, then wash and dry and applying developer. Then under UV light you will see cracks on the surfaces of the test object. Methodology of liquid penetrant testing. First step, crack filled with dart. Second, ideally cleaned. Third, application of penetrant. Fourth one, intermediate cleaning. Fifth, application of developer and crack indication under UV light. Liquid penetrant processes can be used as non-destructive inspection methods for finding discontinuities that are open to surface of solid and non-porous materials. Indications of flaws can be found regardless of size, configuration, internal structure, chemical composition, and flow orientation. Liquid penetrance can seep into various types of minute surface openings by capillary action. Because of this, the process is well suited for the detection of all types of surface cracks, laps, porosity, shrinkage areas, laminations, and similar discontinuities. It is used extensively for the inspection of wrought and cast products of both ferrous and non-ferrous metals, powder metallurgy parts, ceramics, plastics, and glass objects. In this method, the liquid penetrant is applied evenly over the thoroughly cleaned surface under test and is allowed to remain long enough to permit penetration into the possible discontinuities. The liquid is then completely removed from the surface and a wet or a dry developer is applied. The liquid that has penetrated the discontinuities will then bleed out into surface. The developer will help delineate them. This will show the location and general nature and magnitude of any discontinuities present. Fluorescent penetrant can also be used for this purpose and it fluoresces brilliantly under proper light conditions. This method is also known as dye penetrant method. Such a dye is added to the liquid to facilitate viewing. Applications of liquid penetrant testing for surface defects and flaw detection. I have told earlier, applied on materials during in-service testing. Large surfaces can be detected easily with low cost and short time. Limitations of liquid penetrant testing. Detects only surface defects, requires smooth non-porous material. Penetrant used should neither be highly viscous nor less viscous. Pre-cleaning is critical. Contaminants can mask defects. Post-cleaning is essential to remove the chemicals. Magnetic particle inspection. Magnetic particle method is used for locating surface and subsurface discontinuities in ferromagnetic materials. It is based on the fact that when the material of the part under test is magnetized, magnetic discontinuities that lie in a direction generally transverse to the direction of the magnetic field will cause a leakage field to be formed at and above the surface of the part. The presence of this leakage field and therefore the presence of the discontinuity is detected by the use of finely divided ferromagnetic particles applied over the surface. Some of the particles being gathered and held by the leakage field. This magnetically held collection of particles forms an outline of the discontinuity and generally indicates its location, size, shape and extent. Magnetic particles are applied over a surface as dry particles or as wet particles in a liquid carrier such as water or oil. One of the basic requirements of magnetic particle inspection is that the part undergoing inspection must be properly magnetized so that leakage fields created by discontinuities will attract the magnetic particles. Ferromagnetic materials can be magnetized in two different ways, either by the use of permanent magnets or by passing an electric current through the material. Methodology of magnetic particle testing. A horseshoe magnet can be used to magnetize the material to be tested. The principle of working of a horseshoe magnet is explained in this figure. When a magnetic material is placed across the poles of a horseshoe magnet, while a square ends forming a closed or ring type assembly, the magnetic lines of force flow from the north pole through the magnetic material to the south pole. And are entirely enclosed within the ring-like assembly because no external poles exist. As a result, any iron fillings or magnetic particles dusted over this assembly are not attracted to the magnet. But if one end of the magnet is not square, an air gap exists between that end of magnet and the magnetic material. The poles of the shoe magnet will then attract magnetic materials and the magnetic particles will cling to the poles and bridge the gap between them. Similarly, any radial crack in a circularly magnetized piece will create a north and a south magnetic pole at the edges of a crack. Magnetic particles will be attracted to the poles created by such a crack, giving an indication of the discontinuity in the piece. When the magnetic flux is produced in a ferromagnetic material by passing an electric current through a coil of wire wood around the material, the method is called Magrath flux inspection. Production of leakage field at the crack in a cylindrical bar by passing current through a solenoid coil is shown in this figure. Other methods to produce magnetic flux in a material include the use of electromagnetic yokes, single and multiple loop coils and separate central conductors. The principal industrial uses of magnetic particles inspection methods are final inspection, in-process inspection, quality control, plant and machinery maintenance and inspection of large components. These are the main applications. There are certain limitations of magnetic particle inspection method. This method works only on ferromagnetic materials such as iron, nickel and nickel alloys. Non-ferromagnetic alloys including aluminum, magnesium, titanium, copper, lead and austenitic stainless steel cannot be inspected by this method. For best results, the magnetic field must be in a direction that will intercept the principal plane of discontinuity. Sometimes this requires two or more sequential inspections with different magnetization. Demagnetization following inspection is often necessary. Post cleaning to remove remains of the magnetic particles sticking to the surface may be required after testing and demagnetization. These are the applications and limitations of magnetic particle testing. Let's discuss eddy current testing. Eddy current inspection is based on the particles of electromagnetic induction and is used to identify or differentiate between a wide variety of physical, structural, and metallurgical conditions in electrically conductive ferromagnetic and non-ferromagnetic metals. The part to be inspected is placed within or adjacent to an electric coil in which an alternating current is flowing. This alternating current causes eddy current to flow in the part as a result of electromagnetic induction. The flow of eddy currents in the part depends on the electrical characteristics of the part, the presence or absence of flaws or other discontinuities in the part. The change in flow of eddy currents caused by the presence of a crack in a pipe as shown in this figure. In section AA, no crack is present and eddy current flow is symmetrical. In section BB, where a crack is present, the eddy current flow is impeded and changed in direction, causing significant changes in the associated electromagnetic field. The electromagnetic field surrounding a part depends partly on the properties and characteristics of the part. Electrical conductivity of the metal plays an important role for eddy current response. The conductivity of the metal is greatly affected by the composition, heat treatment, microstructure, grain size, hardness, and residual stresses. In the case of ferromagnetic materials, eddy currents passing through the material result in the magnetization, that is, production of a magnetic field in the part to be tested. The magnetization can be measured easily and will have a greater response to the changes in the structure and properties of the material. The frequency of the alternating current used in eddy current inspection ranges from 200 Hz to 6 into 10 to the power 6 Hz. Most inspection of non-magnetic materials is performed at a few kilohertz. In general, lower frequencies are used for magnetic materials. Eddy current method can be used for some purposes to measure or identify such conditions and properties as electrical conductivity, magnetic permeability, grain size, heat treatment condition, hardness, and physical dimensions. To detect seams, laps, cracks, voids, and inclusions. To sort dissimilar metals and detect differences in their composition, microstructure, and other properties. To measure coating thickness. These are the main applications of this method. Limitations: only for electrically conducting material, too many parameters affect the eddy probe impedance. For critical applications, results need to be verified by another non-destructive testing method. Radiography. Radiography is based on the fact that when highly penetrating rays such as X-rays are passed through a metal object, they are partly absorbed by the metal. The degree of absorption of the X-rays through the metal varies depending upon the lack of homogeneity of material in different areas in the metal. Areas having defects such as blowholes and cracks, metal would absorb less X-rays than the remaining areas. This varying degree of absorption of X-rays can be determined by placing a sensitive photographic film on the other side of the specimen. The photographic film is darkened differently at different places depending upon the position of the defects in the metal. Regions more penetrable to X-rays radiation will be darker and the areas of high absorption will be lighter. Production of such a radiograph is shown in this figure. The penetration power of X-rays depends upon the wavelength of the rays, which mainly varies from 10 to 0.1 angstrom. The lower the wavelength, the more penetrating the rays. Generally, these X-rays can pass through steel specimens up to 100 mm thick, copper and its alloys up to 60 mm thick, and aluminium and its alloys up to 400 mm thick. The term radiography usually implies a radiographic process that produces a permanent image on film. It is called conventional radiography. When the image is produced on a paper, it is called paper radiography or zero radiography. Zero radiography is an advanced technique in X-ray employing a reusable dry plate to record the image. Zero radiography uses static electricity which attracts particles of a fine powder on a specially coated aluminum plate, producing an image similar to that of conventional X-ray film. Using this process, an X-ray image for viewing can be prepared within 45 seconds, whereas conventional X-ray film requires 1 hour to develop and dry for viewing. When inspection involves viewing the image on a fluorescent screen or image intensifier, the radiographic process is termed fluoroscopy. When electronic instruments are used to measure the intensity of radiation, the process is termed as radiation gauging. On the other hand, neutron radiography refers to radiographic inspection using a stream of neutrons rather than electromagnetic radiation of X-rays and gamma rays. The gamma rays give better results with thicker metal sections. These gamma rays resemble X-rays but are more penetrating and shorter in wavelength. They are emitted during the radioactive decay of unstable isotopes. Radiographic inspection is extensively used on castings and weldings, particularly where there is a critical need to ensure freedom from internal flaws. Radiography is generally specified for inspection of thick wall castings and weldments for steam power equipment in boiler and turbine components and assemblies, and other high pressure systems. Radiography can be used on forgings and mechanical assemblies. It is equally suitable for ferrous, non-metallic materials and composites. As compared to other non-destructive methods of inspection, radiography is expensive. Relatively large capital cost and space allocation are required for a radiographic laboratory and fluoroscopic inspection. The operating costs of this method are also quite high. Portable equipments using X-rays and gamma ray sources are available for field inspection, but they are limited to thin sections only. Certain types of flaws are difficult to detect by radiography. Cracks cannot be detected unless they are essentially parallel to the radiation beam. Many discontinuities such as inclusions in wrought material, flakes, micro porosity, etc. cannot be detected unless they are sufficiently segregated. Laminations are nearly impossible to detect the radiography. So these are the applications and limitations of this process that I have told. Let's discuss ultrasonic testing. Ultrasonic inspection of metals is used principally for the detection of flaws in ferrous and non-ferrous ceramics and plastic materials. The flaws to be detected include voids, cracks, inclusions, pipe, laminations, and flakes. This method is employed to inspect bounds produced by welding, brazing, soldering, and adhesives. Ultrasonic inspection is also used for quality control and materials inspection in all major industries. Some typical components ultrasonically inspected are rolls, shafts, drives, turbine forgings, rotors, weldments, pressure vessels, jet engine parts, aircraft components, die blocks, tool steels, etc. Ultrasonic inspection can also be used to measure thickness of metal section. Ultrasonic inspection is a non-destructive method in which beams of high frequency sound waves are introduced into the material being inspected. The sound waves travel through the material with some attendant loss of energy and are reflected at interfaces. The reflected beam is detected and analyzed to define the presence and location of flaws. Ultrasonic inspection employs ultrasonic waves. These waves are mechanical waves in contrast to light or X-rays that consist of oscillations or vibrations of the atomic or molecular particles of substance. Ultrasonic waves behave essentially in the same way as audible sound waves. Most ultrasonic inspection is done at frequencies between 1 to 25 megacycles, well above the audible or sonic range, which is about 20 cycles to 20 kilocycles per second. The directivity of ultrasonic vibrations increases with an increase in their frequency. At a frequency of the order of 1 megacycle per second, the angle of divergence is so small that they may be called ultrasonic beams. Methodology of ultrasonic testing. Ultrasonic inspection can be used to detect flaws in two different ways. Firstly, by measuring the intensity and time of flight of reflected sound waves. This method is called pulse echo method. Secondly, by measuring the intensity of transmitted sound waves. This method is called the transmission method. Let's discuss pulse echo method. In pulse echo method, short bursts of ultrasonic energy, pulses or wave packets, are introduced into a test piece at regular intervals of time. If the pulses encounter a reflecting surface, some or all of the energy is reflected. The proportion of energy that is reflected is highly dependent on the size of the reflecting surface in relation to the size of the incident ultrasonic beam. The echo from the back surface, that is back reflection, serves as a reference point for time of flight measurements that enable the depth of some internal flaws to be measured. The reflection of ultrasonic waves after reaching a defect in the material and after reaching the opposite phase is shown in this figure. The test method for locating defects makes use of this phenomena by electronically determining the relative times for the ultrasonic waves to be reflected back from the defect and from the opposite phase. Such a time or distance scale in the form of a wave is constantly shown on the screen of an instrument called oscilloscope, as shown in this figure. The distance scale may be varied by changing the frequency of vibration. Transmission method. In transmission method, the flaws are detected by comparing the intensity of ultrasound transmitted through the test piece with the intensity transmitted through a reference standard made of the sum material. This method requires two search units, one to transit the ultrasonic waves and one to receive them. Ultrasonic inspection suffers various disadvantages. The manual operation requires careful attention by experienced technicians and a proper inspection procedure should be followed. Parts that are rough, irregular in shape, very small or thin or not homogeneous are difficult to inspect. Discontinuities that are present in a shallow layer immediately beneath the surface may not be detectable. Ultrasonic inspection method can be used to measure the thickness of sheet material. The equipment is known as Sonigen, which is suitable for thickness of any solid material up to 100 mm. The thickness of the material can be read on the calibrated scale of the oscilloscope skin. So these are the main applications and limitations that I have already told. Let's discuss applications of non-destructive testing. In case of power plant inspection, eddy current method is used. Wire rope inspection. magnetic particle method is used. In storage tank inspection, ultrasound NDT method is used. Aircraft inspection, to inspect thin outer body of aircraft, eddy current non-destructive testing method is used. In jet engine inspection, fluorescent penetrant NDT method is used. In rail line inspection, magnetic particle non-destructive testing method is generally used. During bridge inspection, to inspect bridge cables, acoustic emission method is generally used. During pipeline inspection, radiography non-destructive testing method is used. During pressure vessel inspection, radiography non-destructive testing method is generally used. From this video lecture, you will get knowledge about basics of non-destructive testing, their applications, advantages, and various types of non-destructive testing, their limitations, advantages, disadvantages. If you want to get more videos, please like, share, and subscribe my channel. Thank you.